Ooh, extra
Good
sour.
morning. Good morning. Good evening. Good evening. That's what I meant to say. Good evening. Oh,
I know the truck was a pain in the ass, but I didn't think it was mess up your mind, man. Damn.
yeah, it's a little weird. Anyway, good evening. So, yeah. Well, I mean, this week's been kind of shit. Um, so not only um like because we lost two really amazing actors this week. That are kind of big in the nerd world, right?
Yes, very much.
Um, so this morning we found out that we lost Gene Hackman, and his wife and one of their dogs. And apparently they had been dead for at least a day,
Yeah.
according to the news reports.
Hmm.
Um, which is crazy. So we're waiting to see what's going on. The tentative working theory right now is that it's like carbon monoxide. Um, but we'll see. They're doing a full deal. We'll see. But that's the working theory. I kind of hope that's what it is because I really hope that it's nothing bad. But the dude was 95. Come on, man.
Yeah.
You know,
True.
Lex Luthor finally gets his due.
No,
Ouch. Um,
bad joke.
but he was awesome. He was in, Unforgiven. He was in all kinds of stuff, man. Like he was an amazing actor. And he rode stock car, which was really cool too. Um,
I actually just watched one of his movies not too long ago.
yeah,
Um, Quick and the Dead with Sharon Stone.
yeah, yeah.
Um, what was his? I think it was the first appearance of Russell Crowe too. His debut.
That was definitely early.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was really
yeah.
young. Um, and I think it was one of early what's his name? Leonardo DiCaprio too.
Yep.
So it and I totally forgot it was also directed by our favorite guy Sam Raimi too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I was like, I watched it and I keep watching. I was like, this was when this came out, this was so critically crapped on. But I don't I watched it, I was like, it was a really decent Western. I was like, it wasn't super spectacular, but it
Right.
wasn't as bad as I think critics thought it was. I'm like, no,
Right.
I was like, it was good. I had no issue. He was a really good bad guy in that.
Yeah,
Really
I thought it was good. Um, the other loss we had was the actress Michelle Trachtenberg,
Mhm.
who was only 39 and had a liver transplant, and they pretty sure it was complications from that. Um, she was known for in the nerd world, mostly known for playing Buffy Summers' younger sister Dawn, aka the Key, who was basically a god come to life, starting in I believe season 3 or 4. Um, might have been 5 of
I
Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
think four, four, because three was I want to say was three the one where the military was melding soldiers with monsters.
I I want to say you're right. Um,
It's been a long
it's
time.
it's been yeah, it's been a couple years um since I rewatched Buffy again because I watched it a couple summers ago, um because I bought um the Chosen One box set, which had like all of the DVDs back
Mm.
when DVDs were still a thing. Um, so I really watched all of that. Um, hold on, let me see if I can find it here. So, oh, hold on. Um, Nope, that's not helping me. Season 5. She started with season 5.
Yeah, so we were both wrong.
Well, I said 4 or 5.
Mm,
Um, because five was Glory season, and that was the season where Glory was the bad guy, and she was the basically the evil version of Dawn.
yeah.
Um, and then 6 was uh
Like the whole Hellmouth thing.
no, 6 was um 6 was the smart kids, because at the end they
Yeah.
kill Willow's
Yeah.
girlfriend and
So
she goes
Willer was
nuts.
technically the bad guy on that. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the last season was the Hellmouth, because the whole season takes place in 1 week,
Yeah.
over the course of 1 week. Yeah. Uh, but she also did some other awesome stuff. Like she was Penny in the Inspector Gadget movie, which was filmed here in Pittsburgh.
Mhm.
She was Harriet the Spy. Um,
For your
she was on Adventures of
Nickelodeon
Pete and
kids.
Pete.
Yes.
Um, she she was on an episode of Clarissa Explains It All. Um, Euro Trip. She played Jenny in Euro Trip.
So we discussed
Which,
that.
yep. She was also in 6 Feet Under, which was a great show. She was in a couple episodes of that. She was on an episode of House. Law and
Who
Order,
wasn't in
Criminal
House?
Intent.
There?
Um, let's see. She was on.
She
She was in the movie
Gossip
17
Girl.
again.
She Gossip Girl.
Yep, she was in Gossip Girl for a long time. She played. I think she ended up being like the main villain, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
I
that was
haven't
the
watched
like
that in
the
a long
last
time
major
ago either.
thing she did.
Yeah. Um, and then, um, she was also in the Superhero Squad. She voiced Valkyrie in the Superhero Squad TV show,
Hmm.
which was kind of cool. Um, she was on Weeds. She was on Love Bites. Um,
I was gonna say it sounds like her and Gene Hackman like pretty much had a long,
yeah,
long list of
Sleepy
things.
Hollow. And then she was also in the Gossip Girl revival. She was in 2 episodes of that too. So,
So, who is
which
she in
was the
Sleepy
last thing she
Hollow?
did. What's that?
Who is she in Sleepy Hollow? Thank you.
Abigail Adams. She was in 2 episodes in season 2, 13 and 14. She played Abigail Adams. That's what it says.
Oh, the TV series, not the movie. I was thinking, I was like,
Correct. Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
remember her being in the Johnny Depp Sleepy Hollow. I'm
Oh, no,
like
no, no,
trying to
no, no,
think
no,
about it. I'm
no,
like,
no, 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 no.
I don't recall her in that at
No,
all.
no, 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 no. No.
Okay,
But
that made more sense.
yeah, but like she was definitely like, she wasn't much younger than us, and
Yeah, she was
that's
definitely a
crazy, man.
millennial, like an elder millennial there that
Yeah.
was still in the prime of her career, so to speak, it
Yep.
is a shame. It's a shame for both, to be honest. That tragic way for Jean to pass away and tragic for her to pass away. So
Yep. Yeah, it's pretty rough. Pretty rough. So
I even sent you someone making a meme on
yeah, yeah. Someone
I
made
thought
a
that was
really nice
super
drawing.
appropriate.
Yeah, which was interesting because, like, you know, what's also weird is, so the guy that played Lorne, that guy passed away, which is
Mhm,
why that's like that. But the guy that played the guy who Lorne replaced on Angel also passed away.
mhm.
Um, and and that was a little weird too. So, but anyway, so, um, yeah. So,
Other than that, it's not really like a lot of fun news going around. Uh,
right.
what Diamond, uh, what was it? Their they're trying to get repayment from comic book stores across the country, apparently, which is kind of messed up. But kind of you understand why they're doing it, but at the same time, it makes you wonder which comic book stores owe them that kind of money because we're talking millions of dollars. And I I was doing the research and I was shocked of like how much they're asking for these other stores. They're not naming the stores, obviously, but they're sending stores bills for
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
for a lot of money.
What? Where did you see this?
This is I saw this from one of the comic YouTubers that I follow. He usually does news that um that impacts the comic world in general. He just doesn't like willy-nilly it. And then I looked into it further, and apparently they're asking like what do you say, like $11 million or something from various local comic book shops are being billed a ton of money by Diamond to help save themselves. And I was like, wow, that's a lot of money that you owed Diamond.
Uh, oh, I'm reading it now. I see it.
Yeah, yeah. I was kind of I was like, wow, that's I mean, I know we do well. We're doing okay. We don't owe them anything as far as to my knowledge. You're more on the financial end than I am, but I I know we try to keep our books as clean as we can.
Yeah, as far as I know, the only thing we owe him is like the normal monthly bills. So,
Yeah,
like, I don't think we owe him anything beyond that.
yeah.
Um,
So we might end up
so
losing as a comic community a few more comic stores uh, around the country. Uh,
well, I mean, um, yeah, I mean that's it's definitely very possible. But because there's definitely like they have to also um this may also be a thing where it may be being read wrong because as part of their debt, as part of their bankruptcy, they probably have to let all of the people that they have lent lines of credit to, including shops that basically when you buy your stuff and you have like that 30-day credit, right? You have that 30-day window to buy your shit, to pay your bill, right?
okay.
You have you have to let them know that they're in bankruptcy. You have to let them know uh that if the debts aren't paid by a certain date, then lawsuits can happen or something like that. It's basically like and also like if if the shop has any kind of debt due from Diamond, that they have probably X amount of days to report that and collect it as
Mhm.
well. Um, or report that so it can be filed into the bankruptcy filing
Yeah,
as well. Because like that's I'm pretty sure that's also part of it. So it might be like being partially misread. Um, but yeah, um I don't think that I don't think that many stores were gonna owe like um tons. I think but if or at least I don't think a lot of stores are backlogged um too far. I think a lot of stores are just their normal monthly, but their normal monthly is probably, you know, a decent amount of money.
yeah,
Like when you talk about, there's like 300 shops in the country, and I don't know, let's say, so what are they saying? 202 million, right? Or 22 million.
22 million things. It's either 22 million or 11 million. It's something that it's a lot. It's more
All
than
right. So let's say it's 22 million, and we'll say there's 350 shops, right?
Mhm.
That's $62,000. So let's call that over a 3 month period. That means each store owes $21,000 a month. Which means they owe $7,000 a week. That is not, there's no way that that's right. So, unless there's like just shops buying like just ridiculous amounts of shit all over, and small shops are taking the brunt. Um, so I don't know how that's working out. Like, I'm not a lawyer.
Yeah.
Um, I'm not privy to Diamond's financial situation.
I mean,
So,
I've gone
um,
through bankruptcy personally, but there's a difference between business bankruptcy and a
mhm.
individual bankruptcy.
Yeah,
And it's a completely different animal. So
right, right. All right. Let's talk about so we're going to State College this weekend for Happy Valley Con.
yes, sir.
So I want to show you guys where we will be. So this is the map of the floor. So here's where you come in, here's where you pay, and then you come in, and we are this first gray box, uh, where the dots are. Those are the poles there. Um,
Oh,
we're the
slash
first.
trash cans.
We're no, those are tables. Those are, well,
No, the
those are
dots.
poles. The
Yeah.
dots are poles. Yeah. And then we are down the middle. We're the very first gray box on the middle,
Exactly
down
where
the
we were
middle on the
last year.
left. Yep, right where we were last year, exactly.
Although
Um,
for those who didn't know, last year we kind of had issues where nobody could see us.
well, this year it's nice because they're putting those tables in there, so it's kind of forcing the kind of the cosplay guys to kind of be back. It looks like it's going to be all the Star Wars guys are going to be kind of back toward the back wall there, which is kind of nice because they'll still be like kind of across from us, and we'll be kind of still be in the front ish, but so hopefully we'll still be seen a little better, which is good, and but all the celebrities are way toward the back, and Artist Alley is very small toward the back there. They have a lot of vendor space, but it should be fun. I'm excited. It'll be a good time. Very, very excited. Oh, hi, Kitty.
It's
So,
like, I'm causing chaos.
what? No,
Oh yeah, he's the
no
troublemaker.
chaos.
So he
What is
is.
this chaos?
He got into my protein bars.
What?
Yes.
Oh,
In the kitchen cabinet. He opens kitchen cabinet doors.
oh
He's a
my.
smart, chaotic little sucker.
Hmm. That's awesome.
You live up to your name there, Mr. Lucifer.
That's awesome, I guess.
Yeah.
So,
And then
um,
Sissy gets mad at him.
um, yeah. So, um, anyway, we are.
We are looking forward to it. It looks like
Hold
it's going
on.
to be a fun show. So
Yeah, I'm trying to see who we're beside. So Axeman Brewing and CDC Dub Art um are beside us. Infuse Studio, and then a wood crafting bricks and broomsticks are also beside us.
I
That's
think they were
kind of rounding
beside
us.
us last year, if I'm not
I
mistaken.
agree. I concur at least.
I
I think
think
they were
the
right
you
beside us.
definitely remember the wood keeps from
Yeah,
last year. They were very
for
nice.
sure. Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah, super cool.
The
Super cold.
the brewery, I thought they're against the wall, right?
I
Blue
don't.
guys?
I think they were last year. I think they're a
Yeah,
little closer to us this time.
yeah.
So
Well, that could be good. Drunk people
yeah,
buying comic books is a good idea.
right. Oh crap! Hold on,
Just
I
as long
forgot to
as we
open
don't
the
drink, we'll just trying to sell them.
right.
We
Hold on,
don't,
I gotta.
though it shows, guys. That's we leave that up to our namesake.
Whoa,
He-
whoa, whoa, whoa. Let's not throw anybody under the bus yet. Okay, that's the one I gotta get rid of. I accidentally put one too many covers in here. So, and then I gotta let me open this file up here real quick. Sorry guys, give me a second. I forgot to. I got all of them. I just forgot to set them all up. Do, do, do. There we go. Okay. And sidebar. Okay, now we can talk comics. Yay, comic books. All right, let's talk comic books. My first book is Green Lantern 20. Oh man, this book is so good. So good. So we left the last book off where there was this raging, crazy Red Lantern with a hammer. The first couple pages are the backstory of that guy. And he is a blacksmith who kind of is a bit of a wuss. Uh and he kind of gets beat up after building a sword for a guy, and he gets taken advantage of, and his wife leaves him for the guy that he built the sword for. So he rages out, and then that's where Hal and the guys show up. So Hal's trying to figure out a way to calm him down. Doesn't really work. Dude literally explodes. Kind of interesting. Meanwhile, Kyle and Connor and Odyssey are looking for um looking for a thing in the source wall, and they totally are raiding the Promethean temple, in which case Kyle makes a Indiana Jones style whip and hat to wear while he's doing this. Uh which is funny because um Odyssey's like, hold on, and she like throws this stuff and it shows where all the traps are, and Connor's like, is any of this stuff kryptonite? And she's like, no, why? And he goes, hold on. And he just goes through it, and she's like, what the hell's he doing? And he goes, um, he's just walking through him. He's a show off. And he comes back and he's just like, come on, slow pokes, let's go. Um, so he goes through that. Hal's still freaking out about the dude blowing himself up.
As
They
you
get
would.
right. They get the source stuff, and at the end, Starbreaker and Sorrow are looking for the source that they stole out of the source wall. Um, it's a very fast-paced issue this week, um, which is cool, and it um wasn't super long, wasn't super like wordy, wasn't super intense. I really like the fact that it was kind of short and put together. Um, so I'm giving it like a 8 out of 12 eggs. Um, except that all of the eggs are hard boiled already because they're just already ready to go.
Hmm.
Um, they're just that good. Um, I just think it was that good, it was that worth it. Um, I just really dig this book. So,
All right, we got Helverine number 3. Um, this starts off where Doctor Strange and Dakin are talking about there's various um, situations and everything going on around the world involving mutants um, and these hellscape spots, which are, of course, cause death. And of course, the mutants take the blame that this is all mutants. Um, and Doctor Strange says, well, I can't help you right now because this is during the whole Doctor Doom took Doctor Strange's Sorcerer Supreme title, therefore took a portion of his power, so he's not strong enough to help Dakin currently. He does give Dakin a book um, that's kind of a what is it? It's a some kind of hell book that will help Dakin identify what's going on, the ritual, this, that, and the other. They did figure out that this is a Mephisto thing. Apparently, Mephisto is just doing his thing and causing chaos across the world and having to do with mutants. But Strange said he's going to go to Asgard, so there goes Doctor Strange. Dakin makes his way to Japan, where this all began, where his whole life began, is the village he was born in. He goes to the house where he was, his mother lived, where her and Wolverine lived for a period of time. He gets attacked by the townspeople because they don't know who he is. But he's asking what's going on. Why are you guys all, they're all geared out with their spears and their armor and everything. And they're like, well, one day the stranger came, and of course the stranger is Mephisto. He went into Dakin's house, Dakin's mother's house, and cast a spell, whatever. And all of a sudden, children are starting to disappear. The only one left was the one leader of the village. His son, they have his son chained up because apparently the children are hearing kind of like a Pied Piper situation. And the kid gets loose from his chain and then dashes out of the shrine house that they were hanging in. The leader bolts after his kid. Dakin hurries up and follows him. The Dakin finds the leader stabbed through the chest with a tree branch. So he's dying. He asks Dakin to please, take care of the kids, help his son, the usual, death declarement. And at the end of the book, we see that Dakin is being confronted by a resurrected demon version of his mother, surrounded by all the kids in the village. So this is turning out to be a really cool book, especially since we haven't heard from Mephisto lately. Like, he's always one of those weird Marvel characters. You think the master of hell in the Marvel universe would be supremely powerful and everything, and he'd cause a lot more issues, but he really doesn't. I could see where this is going. I could see where, this is kind of a perfect thing. I can't wait to see where this is going. I'm going to give this like 10 eggs out of 12 because it's really solid. I mean, I always want Dakin to have a really good storyline. He hasn't been really good since, I want to say,
Dark Wolverine.
Yeah, Dark Wolverine, Siege
Yeah.
era. So it's been a few
Yeah.
years. So it's nice to see him kind of get back into adventure like this. I like this a lot. So if you're uh, a Wolverine family kind of guy like I am, I highly recommend getting back into this book. It's only issue 3. Really fun.
Hey, and catch up pretty quick.
Hmm.
All right. My next issue is Kill Train number 2. This book,
Mad Cave.
Jesus, this book. Okay, so I was on the fence about this book, and I was like, I'm gonna pick up the next issue and see where it goes. So this book goes pretty much exactly where I thought it was gonna go. So the crazy ninja lady from the end of the last issue starts killing people. Um, and because the main character's purse is stuck in the door, like she rips it out of the door ends up going open, and they somehow like bump the weird ninja like out the door, and she gets killed like by hitting a post outside the door. So then they're like, okay, I guess we're gonna have to become a team and try to get through the rest of this train and kill everybody else and not die. So so her friend from her friend from college basically makes all these names up for everybody. So there's Tidy Tim, Stage Mom Victim, Nerd Babe, Handyman, Don't Fuck With Me Grandma, Butthole Mouth, and Bolly Weird.
I love that one.
Yeah.
Wonderful
Well,
mouth.
Butthole Mouth, and they give descriptions as to why they're called that. So Butthole Mouth is, yep, that's right. This lady's so full of shit, she's got a back door on both sides. She might manage to squeeze a few turds of confidence out that pinch pie hole of hers. But make no mistake, she'll throw you to the wolves to save herself in a heartbeat. Um, so they end up like grabbing weapons and they go into the next car because they're trying to get to the end car, right, to get out. And they go into the next car and they find that there's people killing those people. So she has this hallucination that there are these other moms from the school that are making fun of her. So she literally picks up a severed leg and beats the shit out of someone.
Nice.
And the other people like beat these guys up and kill them. And they're like, "All right, cool. Let's get into the next car." And they all crouch down and they get in the next car and they're like, "All right, we need to everybody get down. We don't know what's going on here." And Butthole Mouth uh is like, "What?" And then all of a sudden she gets shot in the face.
Aw.
The
Could
Butthole
have at
Mouth
least
dies
had
right
her
away.
for like one more like
They
issue.
they do say at least she died a hero. So um so issue 3 coming later. Um so this book is just absolutely absurd. So I'm gonna give this oh like a 7 out of 10 or 7 out of 12. Like it's absurd, but yet like the art, I'm still not a fan of the art. The story's picking up. Like
I
it's
mean,
just
with
it's
creative writing like Butthole Mouth,
right,
you just kind
right,
of have to give it.
right. It's that kind of writing that makes me excited about it a little bit. Um, where I'm
It's
like, oh, butthole
it's
mouth, sweet.
carrying it for you.
Right. It's like, oh, butthole mouth, cool, butthole mouth.
Here we are. I'm really not into the Red Hulk, but since the movie came out, and kind of wanted to see where this went. Red Hulk #1, new series. It starts on a plane, and there's General Ross, and there's a baby or a kid crying because there's stuffed animals on the ground. Picks up the stuffed animal, gives it to her. He goes into the bathroom in the plane, um, washes up, and then he just transforms rips out of the plane, causing the plane to crash near a nuclear facility, and just decimates this nuclear facility. Um, and we find out this whole scenario was just like a magical holodeck kind of thing that Doom was producing, while we see General Ross behind a plate of magical glass or something. Um, and Doom's had Ross locked up for we don't know how long. Um, and he Doom's keeping him around because he is knowledgeable about the US military, his knack for um planning and everything is one of the general specialties. Um and of course Ross is kind of snaps a little bit, and he's like, "Hey, how long have I been here? Why let me go? I've given you like all these different scenarios forever now. You're already taking over the world. Like, what do you want out of me?" And Doom does his usual shtick of Doom wants, whatever I want, blah, 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 smacks him around a little bit because, of course, he can't change because he has this collar on. Um, and Doom leaves, and Ross notices he's hearing tap, 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 tap. Apparently, there is Morse code going throughout. We're finding out that General Ross is not the only prisoner Doom has.
Mm.
He has several prisoners. He has Deathlock. He has Machine Man. He has a head of a cartel. He has another general in the U.S. Army and a professor locked up. Like different reasons. They're all different, important in their own way. Um, and this is where Ross starts planning to get out. Um, Machine Man, he uses Machine Man to help him get out. Um, Machine Man doesn't have his powers, but he's a robot. He's always going to have extensions and wires. Um, so we see Machine Man kind of give Doom a Doom bot like the business, and the Doom bot like hits him back, and it ends up like breaking Machine Man's arm, which Machine Man uses his arm as a cable through an air vent into Ross's cell, pulls Ross out, and then Ross and Machine Man are in the hallway, and action starts happening, and we start seeing Ross transform, and that's the end of this book. I kind of think this was a kind of a cool book. I'm kind of liking this one world under Doom stuff and how
Hmm.
it's impacting the entire Marvel universe. This may be like an actual uh, event that actually has solid meaning. And the first time in God forever, I can't remember the last like maybe since Secret Invasion, like that kind of importance of it affecting everything in the Marvel universe. I'm going to give this, I'll give this a 10 out of 12 as well. It's really good. I like the pace. The art, it's above average. It's not the best looking Red Hulk I've ever seen, drawn wise. But what do you expect with a wrinkly, skinny old man turning into this bulging? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, but
I like
at
the
least it's
story.
Thunderbolt Ross and not the other guy with the mustache.
Yeah.
It's not Mustache Red Hulk,
No, this is Thunderbolt Ross. This is
right?
not.
Which is what I like. So
Yeah. And I like that he's using his mind and his knowledge instead of just, oh, I'm just going to turn into Hulk and just destroy everything. It's.
right.
So, like I said, it's really fun. It's a good way to start off number one, that's for sure.
Cool. I almost picked this book up. I was so close, and I was like, no.
It definitely was like one of those. I was like, I might as well.
All right, my last book is Pop Kill Number One by Jimmy Palmiotti and Dave Johnson. Uh, so this book, I wasn't really expecting to pick up this book. I saw Jimmy post about it um the other day, and I picked it up, and it really has a lot of Jimmy's Bastard vibes without like the Garth Ennis humor in it.
Oh,
Um, but like, so it's like a tamer version of Jimmy's Bastards, right? So it's got this like spy hitman guy. The main story is there's these two brothers. They both own different cola companies, right?
okay.
So the one brother has this brother the has the spy break into his factory and basically taint his cola formula, um, and it kind of fucks up his whole thing, right? Um, and then uh, so he's like, all right, well, you need to do one more job for me, and then our debt'll be done. He's like, okay, so. And I think at the one point, and I hope we find out, but it looks like these brothers may have been Siamese twins at some point because their arms, one has no right arm and the other one has no left arm. So I think they might have been conjoined at the arm. Um, so anyway, there's a driver that gets sent over to the guy's house. He is literally buried under a mound of naked women. Um, he
No.
gets up and he is full on naked, and the driver's a woman, and he's like, nice to meet you, and he's like, what's the matter, have you never seen a man's penis before? And she's like, first time today.
Oh,
Oh.
jeez.
um so then you find out all the women are actually the people who own the building's wives, and he sleeps with them and pleasures them to pay his rent. Like that's how he pays his rent for a year.
Damn.
um yeah, he's like, I'm not proud of it, but that's what I do. And I was like, what? Um, so he gets his it's targets, and he kills a bunch of them. And the last target is this girl named Dinah Deluxe, who is a basically like a phys assist, get it? Um, so he goes to her apartment and she's swimming topless, of course. Um,
Of course.
and he's just like, damn. Damn. So that's why I'm like,
This seems real tame, John. This is
it has some of it has some of that vibe, like I said. Um, so um, so you find out that she is working on a formula to basically make self-replicating carbonization so that pop will never go flat, right?
Hmm,
So the one brother's like, "You need to get me this formula." Like, so he basically tricks her into letting him give her a ride to work. Um, and then he watches her dog while that happens. Um, and then after work he picks her up. Um, and she like makes him dinner as like a thank you, right? And there's a whole lot of other stuff that goes on in between here, but you should really read this book. It's really good. Um, and they have dinner as like a thanks um a thanks thing. And where is it? There's a really funny part in here. Oh, so at one point he goes, she's like, I hope you like spaghetti. He goes, are you kidding me? If I had to look at another uncooked dead fish staring back at me, because they're living in Japan, right?
Hmm.
Uh, he's like, I'll be dead soon. I swear. Fishy dead gazes steal your soul. And she says, it's my mother's recipe, so I hope you like it. A hand me down for generations. He goes, it's wonderful. It has a Japanese flavor to it, though. And she says, yeah, girls gotta make do with what she has available in Japanese markets. Not easy finding some ingredients around here. And he goes, I hear they have a sale on rhino penis, though. And she goes, I know. She goes, I know. I got a drawer full of them, a dresser drawer full of them. And he goes, and then he
Jeez.
toasts, and he goes, here's to all the rhino penis a girl can want, and mad soda scientists who bought it. And so that was just really funny. I thought that was a really funny joke in there. So
Jeez.
yeah, so like this whole thing is about a hitman who is killing people for soda pop formulas. Um, and I thought this book was absolutely absurd, and I love every moment of it. Because like I said, it's got that like Jimmy's Bastards vibe that I love.
Yeah.
Um, and it's got it's like espionage, it's spyish, it's hitman, it's it's got like the absurd idea of, it's two rival soda pop companies. Uh like it's got like the dumb love story in there with like the girl who's like naive, um with like the guy who's like super uh like the super spy, like the James Bondy kind of spy hitman guy. So I'm giving this a 11 out of 12. Um Only because I don't know if it's going to be able to hold up. And that's my thing. Um and because it's a little bit too absurd.
Yeah.
So that's why it's getting an 11 and not a full dozen. But it is very, very good. I recommend checking it out. It's Pop Kill from Mad Cave. Check it out. And if this book had come out like 2 days early, I'd have sent it with Todd to get it signed for me, from Jimmy. But whatever.
All right, we have Sabretooth, The Dead Don't Talk. This is number three. Um, we're in New York and we get treated to basically kind of a freak show circus sideshow kind of vibe we're getting here. Um, and we finally figure out like the actual year all this is going out, all this is happening. It's 1909. Wait, so this is just out of the 1800s. But of course, uh, Mad Dog. I'm gonna call him by Mad Dog and Kingpin just to make it easier.
Sure.
They're watching all their shows and everything, and one of the um, exhibits is a Russian showing off his iron dynamo. So we're getting a early version of the Crimson Dynamo or an early version of Iron Man, whichever you want to,
Well,
go with.
I mean, the Crimson Dynamo is a different character, but yeah.
Yeah, but it's basically mechanical suit during the time period here. Um, and they're watching, and of course, all the tension between all these gangs is starting to build. Uh, the announcer or the presentator, I guess, the host, I guess you could call him, starts kind of messing with Mad Dog for no reason whatsoever. like getting involved in business that wasn't his. And he starts, doing the calling them a cretin, and they start getting into each other's face. And they're like, "Oh, we don't want any trouble, so we're just going to leave." As they're heading out, all of a sudden you're seeing flaming projectiles hitting random people in the crowd here. Um, and it's obviously they're aiming for Mad Dog and Fisk as they try to escape. And we finally meet Dragonfire, who has the Iron Fist ability of, but hers is more um, flaming sword, flaming projectiles instead of a flaming fist. Um, so we see this big epic battle going through buildings, going through the crowd. Uh, she jams that flaming sword into his chest. Of course, with his ability, he just kind of regenerates around it. Yeah, he actually leaves it in. Like he has it in his upper chest there, like the rest of the book. Um, and they're constantly beating on each other, and it's he's hitting her, she's hitting him, and she calls him Tiger Man, and he calls her Babe. And finally, she's like, "Well, I guess there's only one way to settle this," and she just plants a kiss on Creed. And while this building that they caught fire as they were battling, they just have a good old time, adult fun right there in a burning building. Um, while all this is going on, the Russian guy um, supposedly packed up his iron dynamo and they were heading out. Um, but he wanted to just double check to make sure everything was okay. Because he's quote unquote, you can't trust quote stupid Americans. Um, and he looks in and his iron dynamo is gone. Um, and then the rest of the book is Dragonfire trying to convince Creed that he could be the king of the underworld with the power that he has. And he tells her, he's like, I owe Fisk a huge debt. And then in the end of the book, you see the crocodile guy from the first one there, the different version of the reptile. um, so I kind of like where this is going on a historical level. I like seeing the slight variations of um, current characters that we know of today. It's their what I would say great grandparents, I guess, their great ancestors. Um, it's cool. I'll give this a 9 out of 12 because I want to see where this goes. It is a good story. The art is average. It's not spectacular, it's average. And I think that's where it falls off a little bit. But I like where the story is going. Um, I like this dimension that they kind of added instead of him being just this bloodthirsty revenge killing machine. Um, so, but yeah,
Hmm.
I all these books I read this week were pretty good. Like the Marvel's writing is definitely better than it's been, you know, at least towards where these books are. Um, Definitely better than some of the Thor stuff of recent memory and some of this other stuff that I've read over the last few years. Definitely improving and helping out their character, flesh out the characters a little bit more than just the basic slash and beat up and everything else. So
Nice. Yeah, I mean, I think Marvel's been picking it up pretty good lately as well. Like I think they've been in fact, I think Marvel and DC have both finally hit a good stride again.
Mhm.
And Image, actually. I think comics in general have finally gotten their shit together.
Yeah,
For lack of a better term.
just in
Um,
time.
just took like 4 years, but it finally
Mhm.
happened. They're back. They're back to normal. Well, they're back to a good stride. Thanks, guys. Only
Mhm.
took you a little bit, but I'm glad. I'm glad it worked out. I'm glad everything's getting there for everybody. Um, and yeah, I think this is good. I think it's good, really good. Oh, we forgot to mention the other stuff coming up this the other events we got coming up. Um so not only is Happy Valley Comic Con this weekend, but the weekend after that, so next Saturday, the 8th, is Ohio's anniversary sale. I'll be out there for a little bit of that. And also starting on this Saturday at all NDC stores, we have what's called our March Madness graphic novel sale. So every store will have a selection of awesome graphic novels um, for $3 a piece all month. And if you buy another graphic novel in the store, you get one out of that selection for free. If you buy one of the $3 ones off the selection, you get one out of the selection for free all month long. So it's a celebration of graphic novels.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, it is a lot of stuff that we had a lot of overstock of, but that's okay because we are trying to get it to you. There is a lot of cool stuff in it. There are some Marvel books. There's a couple DC books. There's a lot of Archie. There's a lot of Witchblade. So
Yes.
if you're
Witchblade and Darkness are definitely,
yeah.
you know, and to be fair, as someone who sells the most of these books on Amazon, those are the books that I've noticed people are doing a lot of Witchblade, a
Mhm.
lot of Darkness, um,
Well, I think
WYSIWYG.
that's because they're rebooting. Well, they rebooted Witchblade. They're getting ready to reboot Darkness.
Yeah,
I think that's why. So,
yeah. But it's, they're, what is it? WYSIWYG is still doing
mhm,
pretty well. Not as much as last year for reasons,
right.
but people are still ordering. So, are we still running the Amazon special or is that over?
Uh, till tomorrow.
Okay. All right.
So,
So,
but yeah, do check out our Amazon store. We do run sales on there every once in a while. So,
yes.
make sure you guys
And
check that out.
And to be
Um,
fair, they're all reasonably, most of those books are reasonably priced. There are a few outliers, but that's because some of the books are really, really nice and they're not cheap
yeah,
books.
yeah.
I think I
Um,
just sold a complete set of Sherlock Holmes. It was a volume one and two of the original Sherlock Holmes stories. Very nice copies for $100, I think, something like that.
it's not bad at all.
Yeah, but you can't find stuff like that very often, especially with bookstores closing.
Yep.
Um, we do tend to get stuff like that too. So
Also, we shit, I had something, lost it. Give me a second. We have a ton of cool sets, comic sets in Elwood right now. So if you want to check those out, make sure you go check those out. A lot of cool Marvel ones, a little bit of DC, a lot of Marvel. Like there's a sensational She-Hulk, like the Dan Slott run, or not the Dan Slott run, the John Byrne run. I'm
mhm.
pretty sure. No, it is a Dan Slott run. The full Dan Slott run for like a couple $100, like the full run. It's crazy.
Nice.
Um, so go check those out, or maybe call the store and ask for a list or some pictures at least. So there are some cool stuff. There's some Valiant stuff in there too. Um, but yeah, some really really great shit. Oh yeah, I remember. We do have an event coming up at the end of March that I'm not allowed to talk quite about yet. But I promise you, it will be very cool. Um, and if you see me at Happy Valley Comic Con this weekend, you can ask me about it, and I will tell you all about it in person. Because hopefully we'll be able to announce it next week, and that's pretty much it. But also, guys, remember to follow Three Rivers Comic Con for all the announcements that we have coming up for the show. That should be pretty much it. Like that's it. Like that's all we got this week. So there's no Whatnot sale tonight because I did one this morning because Justin and I are leaving kind of early tomorrow.
Mhm.
Um, but that's about it. Thanks guys for watching. Thanks guys for listening.
Yes.
And we will catch you next time. And support your local comic shop. If it isn't us, that's totally cool too. If it is us, even cooler. And we will catch you